very special guest. We got YelloPain, I would say in the building, but we have him virtually, at least.
What's going on? We in here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, that we are. And we're just going to be sitting down with YelloPain, asking him a few questions about his music, so on and so forth. First thing, just right to get started is, how have the last few months for you been in general, with quarantine? I know it's affected a lot of artists. How's it all been for you?
It's been, it's been an experience for sure for not just me, but everybody. Just not being able to go certain places and doing things virtually. But I think, it's all about just adapting with what's going on and moving forward. So I've been learning just how to, adapt to this new world, but I'm excited. I've been having fun, to be honest.
Hopefully you have been able to kind of find some light in the, in the midst of everything going on.
Of course.
So taking it back to, your days growing up in Dayton, Ohio,
yeah.
I was wondering, was there something like an event or a series of events or maybe a friend or a family member like that kind of pushed you to start making music or express yourself creatively in any other way?
Yeah, well, I started rapping because I was influenced by my older cousin. But it was for more shallow reasons, you know what I'm saying? He used to get the girls, you know what I'm saying? And he dressed real fly, and a lot of people, gravitated towards him. So, and I was like 7 years old, so I wanted to be like that. And it was over the course of some years where, I started to feel like, all right, I'm making this music. But, I was going through a lot. So music kind of shifted into something more internal and emotional. And it was like, all right, this is what I have to express myself. So then it became that.
That's great. It kind of just came naturally. Was your cousin, did it start for you like kind of banging on the lunch tables or anything like that? You hear a lot of those stories. So
yeah, we got a lot of those stories, but at the time, you know what I'm saying, he ain't had nowhere to go, you know what I'm saying? He was staying with us, and he was sleeping in the same room. He was sleeping in the same bed, actually. So you got me just imagine being a little kid and you got your older fly cousin, you know what I'm saying? Like it just happened. It just happened like that. Rest in peace. He just recently passed a couple years ago. But yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, that was my first introduction into hip hop.
Absolutely. That's definitely a great, humble beginning story for sure. So working off that, you started making music. Now I was digging back through your at least 2 full-length projects that you have out on streaming services right now, and some of the content is, it's tremendous. Like your message, you've always had a message in your music, I think. And correct me if I'm wrong, at least, but it definitely it comes across that way, that you had a great message in your music. And I was kind of wondering, what was it that, just maybe it was naturally led you to the, message-based music? We don't always see that, nowadays, and how'd that kind of come to be?
Yeah, and it has been that way for a very long time. Like, I try to tell people, like, music is, like I said, it's something that turned into an emotional outlet for me. So I'm not really writing a lot of times for people to be like, oh, this is dope, or oh, this is creative. It's really like, I'm going through this currently, or I just witnessed this, or, something really touched me emotionally. Rather it's even just a fun party song, or it's, a song about drug addiction. It's just stuff that just touched me emotionally. And at the time I just feel just compelled to spill it out on paper.
Absolutely. Yeah. Spoken word, reality, documenting the reality. And as far as that stuff goes, what kind of kid were you, growing up in Dayton, Ohio? What was life like, for you when you were younger?
Dayton, Ohio, it's a small city. It's not a whole lot of opportunity. It's not a whole lot of jobs, and it's really like everybody knows everybody, small town mentality, very competitive, and it's not a lot of resources. So growing up in Dayton, Ohio, it can be hard, it can be difficult, but I think just being from a community and, just wanting so much out of life and knowing that I can't get it from here, I think you know, that combination just really just motivated me to try and do something that has not been done before. And that's like be a famous rapper from Dayton, Ohio. So here we go.
It's too easy to you know, as a music, as someone listening to the music and following what you're up to, like that's too easy to get, you know, hop on board with for sure and support. So on that note, what kind of goals would you say you have is when you look back and when things are all said and done? What are the outlook that you kind of hope to accomplish as far as music making, but even just beyond music making? You know, like what kind of impact do you hope to make as a person?
Yeah, in music, you know, when you start off making music, most people just want to make a good song, but when you fall in love with the whole just hip hop or just the whole you know, when you really fall in love with music and you start to see, you know, where you can get, it's like, man, I want to be one of the greatest. So it's like that's definitely one of my goals, to be, you know, iconic. That's just I'm just passionate about reaching new levels. And but with that, in that, you know, like I said, I come from Dayton, Ohio. I come from a place where it's not a lot of opportunity. So to be able to reach new levels and show people that come from where I come from that you can do anything you put your mind to, you know, that's just like a 2-for-1.
Were there any specific artists that you kind of looked up towards, you know, in your music making process, getting started with that goal in mind?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a student of the game, you know what I mean? So hip hop is something that's kind of bred from people who don't have a lot of resources. And, you know, they were first off able to create an entire genre of music from nothing, you know what I mean? And take it to the masses. So with that being said, man, anybody in hip hop who has, you know, been able to go from just, you know, this type of lifestyle to, you know, financial prosperity through music is amazing to me. So I'm a student of the game. I love everybody. My favorite rapper, like personal favorite rapper of all time is Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so shout out to Meek. That's one on my, like, before I die, I gotta do a song with. You know, that's my number one. And then as far as I have another artist that I have to do a song with for a different reason. And that's Trippie Redd. So when I was more of a local rapper, probably in like 2017, I had like maybe 2,000 followers or something, 2,500, and he DM'd me. He asked for my number. He you know, he FaceTimed me. And when he FaceTimed me, he was just telling me like, yo, you so hard, you know what I'm saying? Like, da, 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 like keep going. I feel the passion in your music. And at that time I was at I'm about to not about to give up. I wasn't like there, but I was just putting out so much music and trying so hard and feeling like nobody was listening. So for a random text from a famous rapper, you know, that really actually was the beginning to, I think, 3 weeks after that, I went viral for the first time. And then, you know, it was just that motivation, and it hasn't stopped since then. So that's somebody that, you know, one day I gotta do music with, or at least gotta thank him personally, if nothing else.
How far, I guess, because I know you're both from the same state, at least. He's from Cleveland area. How far distance wise, you know, did the word about you kind of spread to him? How long is that distance?
I have no idea. First, I have no idea how he heard it. I think some like blog page, but I have no idea. To be honest, I didn't even investigate it. Once I seen, you know, I think at the time, and he might still live in LA. You know, I was in Dayton, Ohio. I was in my mom's living room when he had texted me. I'm sitting here refreshing my inbox. Like, am I tripping? Did I inbox him? Why is it a blue check in my DM? So yeah, that was a crazy moment.
That's crazy. Definitely. That's definitely, that's an awesome story.
Yeah.
You know, just hearing about all that. Like, I was wondering too, like, are there any, you mentioned Meek Mill and Trippie, you know, for someone like you also who, I mean, the song My Vote Will Count too was made its rounds and got a lot of notoriety, but it's definitely not limited to that as far as, you know, messaging in your music. Like one track that stood out to me when I was listening last week was the song Influence on the I'm Still Here Because I Didn't Give Up your project.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there are any also like 90s OGs, that come to mind for you, like who, because there's a lot of that, I feel like when I listen to you.
Yeah, that's why I say student of the game, and I love
Yeah.
music. Uh, so I mean, I'm a fan of Nas. I'm a fan of
Mm-hmm.
Papoose. I think that I don't know if he not necessarily 90s or like early 2000s, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Papoose. He do that type of stuff. Rakim, everybody loved Tupac and Biggie. That's needless to say. So yeah, man, I love hip hop, bro. Like, so it's gonna be some of those early influences in there, and then some of the new music influence in there, like, cause I'm still young, so I listen to
Mm-hmm.
a lot of new stuff as well. Yeah, I'm a student of the
And
game.
yeah, balance and versatility, that's,
But,
I feel like that's something in there really going for you. You've definitely shown that it's something that you got, going is the differences, across, your two bodies of work, and obviously the track that you just dropped, or,
yeah.
the one that recently, got a lot of attention. And I was curious to ask, I know you've probably talked about it so many times, my vocal count, it's
Yeah.
probably, literally a broken record at this point for you to
No,
hear
it's
that.
actually refreshing that we were able to talk about some of the other things in my career, because I don't think I have had a general interview in like a while, just with the election and everything coming up. But I'm passionate about voting, so I'm excited to talk about it, especially up through the election, and then when the next one comes back around.
Yeah, absolutely. I was curious, what was it? I've heard you talk about just wanting to make, the city and like areas, like Dayton better. And I've heard you talk about, even things as simple as the potholes in the street and,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. I was curious, like, was there a specific moment that made you like, just kind of that clicked and made you so passionate to learn more about the voting process and I guess, the government? Because some of the things that you've said, like I echo to my friends all the time, like about, the problems that we have in government and the self-interest based policy making. And it's kind of just madness. And I loved hearing, an artist kind of speak on it like that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I say a lot, like my cousin, Desiree Tim, she's running for Congress in Ohio, and she came to me with the idea, and I had dismissed it, but like, she really drilled me, and she really was like, she took away every excuse. Like, she was like, she asked me a question like, so why don't you feel like your vote counts? You know what I mean? And I was explaining to her, that I voted for Obama in 2012, and I felt like I was still broke, nothing happened. And then she was like, so what would you like to see change? And she was like, in the community, name some stuff you would like to see change. And then as I was naming the stuff, I was like, the potholes is a big issue. So I was like, for example, da 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 da. You don't think that you might think that like maybe if the president approves some budgets, or maybe if they just care more about the city, they will fix it. You don't really think about how it actually links back to an infrastructure bill, which is what she said. Like, she's like, well, it's an infrastructure bill or a transportation bill or something that can be signed or passed, and that has to do with the person in Congress over this area, and they can pass this, and it was like everything that I hit her with, like, she had a clap back, and it was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So she eliminated every excuse, and it was like, so you mean to tell me that all of the problems that we have are literally linked back to voting, and I don't know about it? And I think that was the moment when I asked her. I was like, I felt upset with myself and with my community and the education system. Like, why am I this old as an adult male and not know, this information? Why has school taught me, so briefly about that? And, why has school taught me so much more about like long math equations that have
Yeah.
nothing to do with my everyday life and
Actually.
civics, or, like engaging and changing my community was not, a whole subject. You know what I mean? Like, why is election day not a holiday? Why do people have to figure out if they're going to be able to get off of work to make it to the polls? So, that type of stuff upset me, and I felt like a duty to my community to, to speak on it.
Like, I'm so on your wave. It's crazy. Like I totally, everything with that is completely. And I mean, I know we don't have all the time in the world, and we might be a little restricted for time. Then I'd go into, in depth about all kinds of stuff with you, about this stuff. I would love to, but I guess one broad question to kind of at least get at it a little bit is, if there's one general thing, whether it be throughout society or if it be, within government or both, that you feel as if like we're just in general kind of missing, that if we had it, could be a characteristic, an attitude, mentality, anything, that it was more existent and more present in these places, through society or through government, we, collectively, and especially those who don't have as many opportunities, that, we'd be in a better place collectively, as a society. But what do you think is missing, in that regard?
This is a crazy world we live in. There's a lot of things missing, but I think one thing for sure is selflessness. Like, I think everybody is just, I mean, rightfully so, but just focus so much on internally and how their life can be better and how they can be happy, and they don't really, a lot of people don't care about other people, and that's why I'm so passionate about voting and putting people, at least if everybody's not going to care about other people, at least let's get some politicians or somebody that care. Like, at least the government should be selfless. Like, they should be worried about, I might lose my job, let me not try to pass this bill because those people aren't going to vote for me. Like, yeah, like you work for the people, so
Absolutely.
Selflessness, that's definitely a thing I think that the world could use a lot more.
Absolutely. That's just speaking facts. Like, that's really all there is to it. And I guess this is something I'm always curious about when I ask anyone. What's something about YelloPain that fans or people that are just kind of coming across your music and seeing your stuff on IG and whatnot, like, what's something that they wouldn't have known prior, in doing so, that like they have to know, but they wouldn't know, but like, if you know YelloPain, you gotta know?
That's a good question. Something that they wouldn't be able to find out just by coming across my music. It's a lot of things. So I make multiple genres of music for sure. A lot of people don't know that. Like I make pop music too. I dabble into different genres. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Thank you.
I think
I'm doing my job, man.
I know one thing is for sure that I'm not as, I don't want to say it like that, but I'm not always as serious as a lot of people think I am. I'm a lot like, I'm goofy, like very goofy. Like, I laugh like 90% of my day. So, and as time progresses, people will see that more. But yeah, I'm fun. I'm very approachable. You don't gotta be scared of me. I might, yell at a kid with a gun in my hand in one of my videos, but I'm not. I'm very down to earth. So, what I'm saying, y'all can get to know me. It's all good.
Absolutely, I definitely get that impression. From our brief time together, and I'm glad we were able to, you were able to make some time for us and sit down and answer some questions. Tell whoever's out there and going to be listening about yourself. But that's all the time we have. You want to drop like your socials where people can find you, what and so on?
Yeah, most definitely, man. Make sure y'all follow me at YelloPain. That's YELLO, no W, YELLOPAIN. And new music coming out real soon. Yellow is the new black, coming out real soon. Make sure y'all stay tuned for that.
Definitely stay tuned for that. I'm locked in, that's for sure. And thank you very much for taking the time, for real.
I was honored.
Thank you guys.
Likewise.